Let's say hello and good evening to Joey Gray, and first up, Michael McCullen.
Thanks, Andy. The Europeans walked on at the start of the night to 2 tribes. A point is all you can score in that team match, but it's an important one. In the 14 previous stagings of the opening team match, 10 times the team that's won it has ended the week holding the cup. Europe need a response, Joey.
Oh, they sure do. I'm really pumped, really amped to be here, and that last match was so exciting. A few rare misses by Europe, but seemed like USA really took them for granted. I mean, took advantage.
Well, that was the thing. They did have the bit of good fortune with Kachi's foul, Joey, but they still had to do the job, and they did it.
Oh, they sure did. They all soldiered up, and we all fight really hard. That's for sure. We've been training hard and just take advantage of this.
Fedor Gorst may be world champion, but he is still a rookie in a Mosconi Cup sense, so a big call to put him into action so early on. The first doubles match, Alex Lely was asked about that when the lineup was announced and said, "I could have put him anywhere." So the captain really backing his youngest and newest player here. And it's very much youth versus experience in this one, but all top class, world class players.
Yeah, you know what I mean. In a race to 5, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, as you saw in that last match, world champion or not, we're all human, and we all feel the heat, and we all make mistakes.
Yeah, and in a short match, just race to 5, it can be something small like Kachi's clothing foul that turns it all on its head. So let's see what happens now in this opening doubles. Off the back of that team match, which USA turned around from such an unpromising start. So much tension out there on both sides.
Wing ball on the break there. Perfect shape on the one. Oh, kind of came up a little bit short, didn't it? And seeing it live, how fast and how difficult it is to gauge the slide and the grab on this table. Watching the Mosconi Cup for years from my living room and seeing it in person is a completely different animal.
Yeah, just imagine how different it would be if we had crowds here, which unfortunately we don't, but hopefully for the 2021 staging. For the time being, it's behind closed doors. And what an intriguing start we had with that opening team match.
Yeah, definitely. Fedor coming with a very good shot on the one, getting Josh perfect on this too. Looks like they can probably clean this rack up. Not much trouble here, other than the 7 to the 8, but with the 8 hanging, can probably manage it.
As I said, Joey, just watching that opening match, there seemed to be a lot of tension on both sides. Is that how it felt to you out there in the arena?
Oh, well, I wasn't out there in the arena actually, but I mean, sitting there on the sidelines, my heart was about to jump out of its chest when I was watching those guys shoot.
He was good.
And do you think, as we watch Europe try to complete this opening rack, that a lot of that tension was down to the very spiky nature, actually, of the pre-tournament press conference we saw last night?
Yeah, I mean, we all compete, and we all get a little bit, with our opponents, we want to feel the heat, and we want to make sure that they know that we're there and be aggressive. But these guys put that stuff behind them and just go to work.
Gorst and Filler going to work very nicely here. It looked promising from the break. And they've been very efficient in finishing this off. Get the sense there he was hoping to bring the cue ball a little further, but still should be no problem here for Filler.
Yeah, he's fine. This is, that's one of those things you just don't want to make sure you overrun your mark on this table, because it's real easy to let that cue ball get away from you.
Yeah, and a sense of responsibility to your partner as well, making it as easy as possible for him. And that was pretty easy for Europe as they go 1-up in the form of Gorst and Filler.
Yeah, started with a perfect break by Josh, breaking about a little bit off the rail, about 6 inches off the rail.
Yeah.
See from there, and got the squat that he wanted. Nobody really made the wing ball on the break in the initial match. I think Fedor was the only one to make the wing ball.
much a case of experience meeting youth, as I said. Van Boening and Deuel miles ahead on the experience front. Problem for them is that the youth are very, very good. As we've said, Filler was world champion 2018. Gorst succeeded him in that role 12 months ago. And in between, Filler added the US Open title as well. So, in a Mosconi Cup sense, they're way behind on experience. But when it comes to recent form over the last couple of seasons, Europe very much in the ascendancy in this match.
To Europe, USA to break.
One ball. Watch out, 3. Now that break sounded different than Josh's. It just sounded like a little bit more of a thud. And he hit those balls very well, but obviously didn't squat the cue ball in the dead center of the table. A little unfortunate to tie up the 3, but at least Corey has a shot on the 2.
Cut the cue ball and then the cue ball go right down here.
I don't want to bust that out though. I'm gonna go this
Or
way.
you can come right here.
Right
I would
here,
come right here. Yeah.
I like the communication. Definitely probably laying up so he can play some type of a safety on the 3. Just coming down by the 7, by the brown. Ooh. Lost it a little bit there.
What's that?
But not too damaging, giving,
Just
leaving him distance and
just
knowing
take
that
off
the
and put it
3/8 is so
somewhere.
tied up.
Me too.
Stop the clock, please. Stop the clock, please. Same with you.
Well, we had a
Just take
clothing
off.
issue. That was
Well,
a
have
big
them out
turning
there,
point
please.
in the opening
Yeah.
match. Something similar going on here. So an issue with the microphones. They've been removed.
Yeah, unfortunate foul for Kachi, and he was fighting it. You could see he was trying to get over the brown really, really easily, but because he's such a tall guy, to fight that, it's difficult to even get down on the ball. But his position play to get to the 6 on that actual
yeah.
rack, he came up
Stop the
very
clock,
short.
please.
So
It's such a harsh thing in a way. Obviously it is the rule and you have to abide by that, but there's really not much you can do when you're in that situation. And obviously no advantage is gained from touching the ball like that, but that's the rule and you've got to apply it.
yeah, I mean, you really got to just pull your pants up, make sure you tighten that belt. That's about it. Now in this shot, I mean, really trying.
Extension called.
You can't. I don't think you can be aggressive here, but I mean, he could potentially try to come around, but yeah, clipping it and just coming up table. Watch out, cue ball.
We're seeing a lot of conferring here between the players, Joey, and I know some players have different views about this. Some feel that too much of it, you can end up getting in each other's way. What are your views on that?
Well, I think it's a huge advantage for the U.S. Players all knowing how each other play very, very well. And Europe said in the press conference that we all play so good that the communication doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, it shows up a lot. Like you said, they're already conversing a lot. And, you know, I mean, this is only, the second game.
So the 2 over the pocket. Obviously the 3 not in a promising position here, so not exactly a golden chance.
Yeah, I think they're going to take Shane's lead out the gate and try to just come around. Now, he hit this ball really well. Oh, he almost got it down there perfect to break out the 8. I didn't really like that approach because it could have been pretty dangerous. I thought he might just come down by the brown and play a safety, but on this shot in particular, I mean, it doesn't look like he can really do too much to tie him up on the 8. He might try to just get the 3 out, and there it is. Made
Whoa.
it. And froze the cue ball, which makes this kick shot even more difficult. Really landed in a funny spot there. I thought he would have just laid up on for the safety on that ball. Clipping this ball off the 8, coming up behind the 6, possible? No, he could see more than I thought.
Corey Deuel, late call-up, as we've been saying. I asked him yesterday how he's coped with that situation, having to
the ball.
prepare for an
Put it
event
right
as
in.
big as
Right-
this
right
at such
in.
short notice,
Right
and
on
he
the
says he's been
button.
practicing 8 to 10 hours a day. And of course he's got so much experience behind him, played in 10 previous Mosconi Cups. 20 years since his debut.
That's amazing. I mean, and like I said, watching Corey, his preparation and everything that he does is, I mean, it's been pretty incredible because he's very, very methodical. I mean, I don't even know if there's a word that you can describe Corey with as, I mean, as intelligent as he is about the game. It's almost scary. But, you know, he does prepare hard. He's been playing really hard all week long, trying to get ready for this. And, oh, a miss. But yeah, Corey's definitely, he's been playing really well in the practice rooms. Handled himself pretty good in the team match earlier, so. But looks like Shane may have a cut in the side here to come up and down.
Extension call, please.
Watching out for the 8.
Van Boning's overall doubles record in Mosconi Cup play is a losing one. He's played 34 doubles matches, won 16, lost 18, but he did win all 3 of his doubles matches last year, and that was a big factor in the USA's win. Both sides have identified the doubles
Watch out, scratch.
as a key
Yep, right in
factor.
there.
Here we go.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
Very
Start the clock,
difficult,
please.
and he almost looked like he almost overcut that ball and still scratched. Just had a little bit of extra spin on that ball. I think he was worried about hitting the black and scratching, just cutting it with a natural line. So he wanted to use just a touch of spin to help it in, and it really grabbed.
And with that 5-9 combination, Fedor Gorst and Joshua Filler are now leading by 2 racks to 0.
It's amazing to see. I mean, in a race to 5. This is my first time commentating a race to 5 in my life. You know, I mean, these shots are so big, every single one. I mean, and you have got to take advantage of your chances.
The look of concern on Shane Van Boning's face after that. He knew straight away the implications of it. So a good start for Europe, but then they had a very good start in the opening match and ended up losing it.
That's true. I mean, one funny thing happens, and you can get a little rattled with a lead. I mean, everybody says they'd rather fight from behind than
leading by 2 racks to
start off ahead, but I mean, you obviously want to have a lead in a race to 5. Fedor broke very well in his match earlier. No wing ball. No wing ball, but got drizzled in a couple balls. 9 ball. You play the 2-way, make the 1 ball, and drag into the 9. Well enough, but he might have fallen a little bit straight on this 3.
Fedor Gorst is a former world junior champion. It was known for some time that he was a player of real potential, and he'd been playing well last year throughout 2019, but still a bit of a surprise when he won the world championship as early as he did.
Yeah, pretty incredible. I mean, he's an amazing player. I've watched him play for years, and yeah, he did fall a little bit straight, but follow this ball 2 rails, and it'll flatten out pretty well. See how it flattens right there? That was a nice shot. Very good. The only real trouble in this rack is getting from the 7 to the 8, but falling right on the 7 just so you can get on the 8. I mean, because if you can get a decent enough angle where you can float across, you should be okay.
A look of concern clear on the faces of the 2 vastly experienced Americans.
This might have fallen a little bit straighter than he likes. Might have to really put something on this. Pretty good shot. Very good shot.
Come on. have been very easy to come a little too far on that and get a bit too close to the 8, but should be straightforward from here.
Yeah, that was difficult.
Yes.
Europe led 3-0 in the opening match. And they lead by 3-0 in the second. Gorst and Filler very much on top. Now it's Deuel and Van Boening who need to hit back. Welcome back to opening night at the Party Poker Mosconi Cup in Coventry. Gorst and Filler 3-0 up on Deuel and Van Boening, but of course Europe had a 3-0 lead in the opening match and didn't win another rack. The Americans won that opening team encounter by 5 racks to 3, so they have the upper hand. Europe looking to draw level and in very good shape to do so as Corey Deuel steps forward to start us off in rack number 4.
Corey with the dry break here. It was interesting in the practice room. He knew that something was going to be different, obviously, out here than in the practice room. I mean, the conditions you can never really predict for out here because you don't get to practice on the table. But he told me that he has 50 different breaks, around 50 different breaks that he knows, that he's almost got mastered, where he knows which balls are going to go where. Now you can see he tried to put a lot of spin on that break, try to do a certain type of cut break. So definitely looks like he's trying to figure it out as he goes along, which is getting a little bit too deep to be trying new things.
Yeah, and ironic that a player who talks so much about the technique of breaking produces the first dry break we've seen in 4 racks in this doubles encounter. Van Boening and Deuel have shown before what a formidable pairing they can be in doubles. Eklan Kachi and Alex Kazak has certainly found that out in a resounding defeat on the opening day of Deuel's last Mosconi Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah, and this match is far from over as long as, I mean, if they can get some kind of opportunity and get some things rolling. But it's not looking too good from right here. Shane looks like he can probably clip this ball a little bit and leave the cue behind the 9-3-8. Just like this. The ball will bend. Pretty solid. I think Josh is definitely going to try to jump this ball. I don't know if he would play it for the cut. Probably, because he's got the wall right there. If he can get the cue ball to drag back just a hair, if he can hit the 1 thick enough and hit the 6, he can get the safe. Oh, he didn't. He played the shot, and he hit it. He hit it pretty well. Might have to hold on to the jump cue, though.
The regularity with which jump shots are plotted and executed well is absolutely astonishing at this level.
Yeah, he's definitely, both of these guys are excellent players, world class. Jumping is not a problem, it seems, for especially a lot of the younger generation. Very nice jump there. Cue ball might get lost again. He might need it again. No, I think he left him a little piece of the 3 ball. I can't tell. He might have to swerve it a little, but I think if he did, he would probably just have to jump, because swerving the ball, trying to masse is way more difficult. Ooh, the first hanger that we've seen.
Well, we're going to have another look at that, I think. And just amazing. It looks like even now, how is it staying up?
These pockets are tight. They hold the balls up a lot. I mean, actually, this is my first experience with the Rasan tables. They are not buckets by any means. Very nice shot there. I believe he knew it as soon as he struck it that he overcut that ball.
Well, it was in rack 4 that we saw the big turning point of the opening match. Could that prove to be the same in match 2?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, a rare miss, and you can get things rolling, and all of a sudden it's 3-3. That's me hoping anyways. I apologize for the bias.
I think it's got to be expected, Joey.
You know, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can for the European fans, but I am cheering for my country. So pretty smart shot there. Just make sure you guide it over there. Now this shot can get away from you if you use a little too much high English. It can really bend off that first rail, so you've got to make sure that you put a good solid stroke on this ball. See how it bent, and he caught the 9. See, and then what it was is he didn't put a super solid stroke on that ball and get the initial reaction on the cue ball. It kind of poked and then started running. You needed the English to take about 2 feet after it struck that 7 before it started bending.
So this rack not quite over yet.
A lot of work, solid bank. Cut it right. Caught the point. Pocket's playing tight.
Well, this is really becoming a key rack now, because whichever side ends up losing it is going to have regrets about it.
I mean, watching that ball down the line right there, it looked like there was no way it wouldn't go, but they're holding them up.
Especially the middle pockets, it seems, Joey. They seem particularly tough.
Yeah, they definitely are, especially from a steeper angle. Now this ball coming up, leaving Corey a little bit of a tester, but trust your alignment, stay down and follow through, and shouldn't be a problem here.
Well, with some of the balls we've seen missed already tonight, you wouldn't have put the house on that. But Deuel was always to be fancied for it, and he's left Van Boening a simple 9 to get the Americans off and running here. Gorst and Phil are still leading, but now it's down to 3-1.
Just take them with you. Cheers.
When Shane Van Boening was named for the team, Jeremy Jones said he might be our 3rd selection, but we all know he's number 1. Just what a colossus he is within the American team and the American pool scene, Joey.
Yeah, I don't think it was any kind of a surprise to anybody out there that he was picked, and he might have been a little upset that he wasn't chosen first, but he knew he was on the team. But, you know, you can't deny the work ethic. I mean, even in the practice room, the intensity when he's hitting balls, I mean, if the guys are monkeying around at all, I mean, he's quick to let us know and get him in order.
His own Mosconi Cup history in recent times basically embodies that of the American team as a whole. He struggled for many years. The Americans went down to a lot of defeats, but he's improved greatly in the last couple of Mosconis, and lo and behold, the US have won them.
You know, I think a lot of it has to do with the younger squad and the up-and-coming players. I mean, Skyler, they feed so well off of each other, and you know, Skyler's got a very light personality, if anyone, I mean, sure, everybody knows it. Billy's very intense. You know, feeding off of those two, I think, has really helped him throughout the years. And just having the younger squad and being the leader.
Break. Europe to break, leading by 3 breaks to 1.
Well, it looked for a moment as though that 6 might just slip in, but it's 2 dry breaks in a row now from either side.
I'm loving this. I mean, and as a fan at home, I think everybody should be enjoying the fact that this table is not breaking perfect. It makes it so much more difficult. I feel like it's a timing issue too, because you can hear it whenever they're not making a ball or two on the break. It's sounding a little bit different. Not as solid of a strike, obviously, but Shane looks like he can probably cut this ball in. I'm not sure if he can. As far as the cue ball coming on the inside of this ball, probably just make sure you run into the 8. Yeah. Very good strike there, because you could have easily clipped the wrong side of that 8 ball and left the cue ball any number of places. Pretty fortunate there. Now Corey let up on his stroke a little bit. That's the one thing that we're trying to really work hard on, is making sure that you trust the length and make sure you're getting through. You can see that he shortened up on that stroke. And on this really, really fast equipment, you can definitely shorten your stroke a lot. It can just happen naturally, because you feel like you don't hit the ball harder or as much speed whenever you get longer, but it really helps your timing whenever you get through the ball. You can actually control the speed of the cue ball so much better.
The good fortune the Americans enjoyed there didn't extend as far as getting nicely on the 3.
Now he's playing this bend so he can get down table. And this is one of the things that we talked about. I mean, you don't have to get a perfect safety. Just make sure you get that cue ball on the rail down table. When you try to hit something too perfect, a lot of bad things can happen, especially on equipment that you're foreign to.
Extension, please.
Because, I mean, we talked about it, and now I'm seeing it live, that you cannot recreate the environment and the speed of this table. It's unlike any other. Little safety battle we got going here. And this is a shot I was pretty curious to see from the practice table to the main room. Trying to spin this ball with right English, and cutting the 3 over and coming 2 rails back. Now Corey just went ahead and used the high English and cut at it. I liked spinning it and playing the cue ball 2 rails towards the corner. But I mean, that does incorporate the scratch, or throws the scratch in there, but I think that was a chance he needed to take. Elevated here.
Guys, just take a drop of your
Well, you said it, Joey. You said these pockets are tight, and we've seen it a number of times already in this match. It's really proving you right.
Well, you mix pressure with small pockets. I don't care how fast the felt is. You get a little amped up, you can put that extra speed on the ball, and it does not help it go, that's for sure. A little bit too much, but he might have got the brown. Got him on the brown, just barely. Well, it clipped off of it and left him a piece, but he really wanted to snuggle him up on there, and that was one of the things. I mean, make sure you get that safety, but you don't want to. That's such a touchy shot. I mean, it's just a difficult shot. But looking like he's going to stop his rock right here, stop the cue ball right there behind the brown. What a safety battle. How many innings is this?
Well, what we do know is it all stretches back, really, doesn't it, to that miss that Deuel had. Okay, he got the pot in the end, but really, since then, this tactical exchange has all flowed from there.
Yeah, true. And I was surprised that he rolled that ball. I thought he would draw it, to be honest. Definitely another safety. And he hit this ball very good to get up on the purple.
You're absolutely right, though, Joey. We have talked about the tightness of the pockets, but the balls we've seen missed so far this evening, a lot of that is down to the tension. I mean, you can see it. It's so visible in the players' faces and in their cueing arms.
Yeah, and that's what's amazing. We talked about it. Jump shot. Oh, now he might have left him. Got it behind the 9. We talked about it a lot, how magnified errors can be on this type of equipment versus, we compared it a lot to golfers playing at the Masters or playing at a public golf course. You play on greens like that, a little bit of a miss is going to go a long ways off. Now I left him a clear pocket for this 3. Gonna have to put a good stroke on this ball to get it back down.
Well, he managed to do that, but forgot to make the pot.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's pretty incredible to see world champions missing balls. I mean, I know that wasn't exactly a hanger, but you do expect good results whenever they're straight in.
May have been a case of thinking too much about what you were talking about, Joey, the need to get back for the 4.
Yeah, the position. He was a little off angle too. I mean, but obviously we all know, and coaches say it all the time, is make the ball, don't worry about shape after.
Yeah, especially in doubles, it's all about leaving something there, keeping your team in play. At least you can control what happens with the next shot, even if you can't make a pot on it.
I can't tell if Shane can see a piece of this ball or not, if he can actually play the carom on the 5. It's possible, but if he can, he's definitely going to shoot that shot. If not, it looks like he might be trying to play some type of a combo. Defense. Hit it very well too. Good speed. Beautiful speed. Thought this was a 9-ball tournament.
It's an unrecognizable form of it at the moment, but intriguing in its own way to watch. Continuing your golf analogy from earlier, Joey, I feel that can always be more entertaining when you see short putts being missed and bad approach play. This, equally so, can be fascinating to watch some of the best players in the world struggling to make basic shots at times.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does it. I mean, and what's amazing is how you notice, especially in billiards and pool, is when one player starts making mistakes, you can kind of play down to that level. It's hard, you know, it's like what you see is what you start to reproduce. When two players are playing great, they feed off of each other a lot, you know.
You get it right on the bottom of the wheel, you don't have a shot.
Extension.
There's no extension left.
They went to call the extension and were told there wasn't one left for them. So in the end, Deuel had to play it very quickly, and has that cost him?
Yeah, definitely. Wish he could have taken more time on that, because it looked like he might have been able to cut that ball and draw it and get a better look at the combo.
So the long wait for the 3 to go down is finally over, and a chance for Europe to halt the Americans' momentum here. We saw that happen. Once the Americans got off and running in the opening team match from 3-0 down, they became an unstoppable force. But Gorst and Filler can stop them in their tracks very quickly here.
Definitely this ball clears. Oh, my. Well,
take all your chocolate here, please.
I guess I put the announcer's curse on him. The USA announcer curse.
Well, you could write a book about this rack alone. It's been so eventful.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know how many innings it's been, but I would be very curious to see.
Well, I said whoever lost the previous rack would end up with regrets about it. It turned out to be the European pairing. If they lose this as well, they'll have massive regrets, because if it goes 3-2, they'll be left to reflect that really they could have had the match won 5-0 by now.
Yeah, I mean, unforced errors, and they rest, they sit with you, you know, especially in these short races, because it's what if, why, you know, you have that in the back of your mind. But
They're two very confident young men, Fedor Gorst and Joshua Filler, but you can just notice their body language changing. As we saw them sitting in their seats there, they're the ones looking concerned now because of these chances they've passed up.
yeah, and I mean, if anybody in the world can regroup, it's those guys. But Shane got a little bit more of a cut than he probably would want. But at the end of the day, he's got an open pocket, open shot. Very nice.
Just the moment of concern there for Van Boening, wondering had he come a little too close to the 9 ball. But this should be 3-2.
Very nice.
Here we go again. The Americans had a great comeback in the first match of the night. They're doing their best to launch another one here. From 3-0 down, they've closed to just 3-2.
Yeah, that pink that Fedor missed, it looked like he just didn't give it.
Third time in a row,
Rack 6.
having
Use
lost
either
8
break,
on the bounce
trailing
prior
by
to that.
2 racks to 3.
Shane coming out a little wider on this break. Watch out. Purple. Purple got him. Pretty unfortunate there because those balls were definitely dressed up nice. But got the kiss on the brown. Purple shoots right over, hooks him on the cue ball.
Yeah, you never really know how the break has turned out until all balls have come completely to rest.
Push out cold.
Certainly saw that there.
Down that way.
You know.
Well, this has already turned
point
into
in
one of the most interesting Mosconi Cups I've watched, obviously because I'm here for the first time, but seeing that safety battle and a lot of rare misses and the table not breaking easy at all. Everybody seems to be struggling.
I'm glad I'm in the commentary box and not writing a report on what we've seen so far this evening, because you need a hell of a lot of words to sum it all up.
Yeah, that's very true. Now this shot, it's definitely they want to give it back.
Please
It
add
looks,
another 30 seconds to the shot clock. Right. Yeah.
now there's a shooting
Reset
the
the clock,
bank.
please.
I'm trying to see the angle once
Extension, you
once
said?
we can get it on the
You say
camera.
extension-
Yeah, I don't
extension
think the
clock.
bank is really the right shot. It comes so wide, and it's so hard to control the cue ball because the cue ball is going to bend towards the 6. But it doesn't really have a whole lot else. Oh, it looked like he was trying to stun the cue ball down with a little English to come down by the 3, and just try to let the 1 run a little bit wild. Difficult shot to try to execute, but that's what my guess was on why he hit it so firm.
How many revolutions did that cue ball spin on the spot after it came to rest?
Quite a bit. Good stroke there by Josh.
Well, this is huge now. I mean, we talked about the momentum the Americans got behind them, coming from behind in the opening match. They've got a little bit of it going here, but the Europeans have a real chance now to stop that and get themselves to the hill.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge decider if the pink goes in the side past the 6. But I mean, you could still follow 2 rails. I mean, it's not the easiest shot in the world, but definitely make sure you can overrun your mark. Had about 2 feet of table to work with there. Pretty straightforward here, nothing on the rail. Hindsight looking back, I kind of wish that Corey would have been a little more aggressive and banked at that ball, but I mean, as firm as he hit it, he could have got lucky. You know, he kind of might have tried to take his chances on getting the safe, but they're straight in.
It's been a bit of a grueling struggle so far this match, but we know that Gorst is well able for that. The World Championship final against Chang Yong Lin last year was very much like that, and the player he was up against really made it very difficult for him. And he talked about how frustrated he got, but he managed to hold himself together in those circumstances. And you think of young players, you know, they want to attack, they want to get in there, but Gorst is very capable. And the more drawn out exchanges.
Yeah, and being young, it's very hard to manage your emotions, and he does it very well.
Yes. And he's delivered the killer blow there. So Europe in this match leading now by 4 racks to 2. And they've got the break in rack 7.
Guys, who's that?
Off shot in this match.
Okay, guys.
He potted 2 balls from it. And from there, Europe went on to lead by
Rack
3
7.
racks to 0.
Europe to break.
Something
Leading
similar
by
would be
4
very
racks to 2.
timely here.
Oh, last ball.
Just as I was saying, you never know how the break has turned out until the very last ball has come to rest. And I think he can just get through to the 1 there, Joey.
Yeah, but I don't think he has a clear pocket on the top left. It's possible. Might be a touch hooked on the 2. Yeah, I believe he is.
Yeah, having a second look there, I think you're right.
And having to come, I'm trying to back cut this ball is pretty unreasonable. Really a difficult spot. I mean, there's not really a clear safety at all. It looks like he's going. He's definitely cutting this ball because he's got sideboards on the 3. Caught it thick. Might have got away with it. Looking down the line of the actual table, and it does look like Shane can see the 1. Not sure if he can actually pocket the ball, but he can definitely see it. Oh yeah, he's queuing to make this ball. Come 1 rail up for the 2. Good solid strike there. Pretty textbook here. I mean, if you can fall on the purple, it's a hanger. Give Corey a nice wide angle on the pink to come back for the purple, and should be off to the races for this game to get within 1 of the hill. Lost it a little bit here. Not too much trouble though. He might have been playing to get him there, but I think he was definitely trying to leave him the wide angle to play off the rail, but all in all, this isn't too difficult.
Whatever way you look at it, it's sort of old Mosconi Cup versus new Mosconi Cup, and maybe the future of this competition, because you look at Van Boening and Deuel, they've made 23 Mosconi Cup appearances between them down the years. Gorst obviously on his debut. It's only Filler's 3rd Mosconi Cup. When you consider that Filler and Gorst's combined age is 43, that's Deuel's actual age. So a real generation gap here.
It really is pretty incredible. And I mean, experience goes a long ways. I mean, when you think about situations that people don't understand at home, really using the shot clock to your advantage, knowing the right way to play in certain scenarios on this table, when to be aggressive and when not to, because it's completely different. I mean, you know, you go to your local pool room and try to practice the way these guys are having to play on this table. It's night and day. Oh no.
Well, what has he done there? And just when it looked as though they were going to close to 1 behind, he's given his teammates some real problems here.
Well, it's like I said, I mean, the ball just dies whenever, you know, he's trying to draw that ball out and come 1 rail above it, and it just dies on you. Corey looking, have to bank this ball. Nope. Left it hanging. No, it died off that last rail, but he definitely left him a shot to win the match here.
Extension, please.
Really nowhere near making that one.
Played it on the high side, though, you know, in case it bends, he makes it, but if he misses it, he gets a little bit of a safe. I think he was playing it a little cautious. Hard to be super aggressive with a cut bank on equipment like this.
putting the Moscow into Mosconi as the young man from the Russian capital delivers his first ever point for Europe. Fedor Gorst and Joshua Filler beat Corey Deuel and Shane Van Boening by 5 racks to 2. USA and Europe level on day 1 at 1 apiece.